Go.
Hello and welcome to another Primo Calcio cast. Today we are reviewing Matchday 16 as well as Coppa Italia and a lot of drama that happened in particular with the 125th anniversary of Milan and a couple big changes today, or I guess recently with Juve and with Roma. Guys, I'm Michael here with Anthony and Shane. How you guys doing today?
Oh, so good. What a day.
Doing
I've
great.
got
I'm here for the drama.
I got a
You're
coffee, a
here for the
whiskey, and a
drama.
water, and I'm all kinds of confused right now.
What
Ooh.
order? What order you doing that in?
Well, I'm shuffling them up because I'm just confused.
All right. All right. Sounds
Yeah,
like Milan.
I'm playing the shell game right now, and whatever one
I love
my
the show
hand touches
game.
first, that's what's going in my mouth.
Nice. I
Beautiful.
like
Yeah, you
that.
seen that video on the internet? I have.
Three cups, one mouth.
That's right,
I have
baby.
not.
Yeah, well,
All right,
it's
so
keep tuning
let's
in.
rock, boys. Let's go. Let's kind of breeze through some of these results to get into more of the juicy stuff. Torino
Yeah.
Empoli. Did anybody see that game?
Did I see? I forget
No.
now, man. It's been a minute. Yeah, I did. I saw Che Adams with the wonder
Oh,
goal.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's well, yeah.
yeah.
I guess we reviewed that
Yeah.
one a little bit last time
I'm
because it was
old. I
kind of
can't remember things past Monday. It's just, I had to
it's
write
okay.
notes. Yeah.
That's all right. So Empoli 3-0 and great goal there. Atalanta Cagliari.
Well,
Atalanta pulls it off
yeah.
1-0.
Who gets the goal though, baby? The douche supreme. This guy's. I love his douchiness. Zaniolo, baby. Off the bench, scores within like the first 3 minutes. Game-winning
We'll see
goal.
if he can get some form running.
Well, I mean,
Gasperini is the master of revival.
that's a couple goals now.
So if there's one coach to do it, it will be Gasperini. And then if he has a great season, he'll leave and not be good anywhere else, is my prediction.
Yeah.
Um, because he's Zaniolo. But
There
the
was a
dude had amazing talent when he was younger, though. It's too bad about his knees. That was one of my favorite players when he was coming up.
He did, but maybe it's been enough. It's been a couple of years that he's been struggling with this. Maybe he's going to slowly start getting better, and he's obviously slowed down. He's a lot slower than he used to be.
That's my
So
problem is
yeah,
that he wasn't like Kaká speed or anything like that,
no,
but he played similarly. He played direct, and like when he was playing attacking midfield, when he was very first coming out, the runs he would make would be very direct, very strong, and he does not have that anymore. So we'll see if he's good enough to modify his game and get to the top. I
it
don't think so, but he could still be a good bit part player here and there.
it was a sensual little finish though. I gotta give him credit. It was nice little touch.
It was a
But
nice
yeah,
touch.
there was a handball
Belanova
in the box.
perfectly set that up.
He did.
What was
But
that?
you, Belanova set up he was the passer, correct, Shane?
Yeah.
Dude,
The
Bellanova's
assist.
sweet. He's having a good season.
Yep,
Yeah.
Villanova.
Boom.
Let's go next into Napoli Udinese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's may have been my favorite game of the week here. Well, it was my favorite game of the week because
They were down at halftime.
down at halftime and it's looking grim. Like Napoli's dominating the game. They're all around their opponent's box, and this is just like a little bit of foreshadowing what we're going to talk about later. This is how a coach impacts the team in the middle of a game. It's not about well, sometimes it's about speeches, but it's not about speeches. Okay, the whole hype thing is or getting your players pumped is so overrated at this level. These guys spend most of their week getting jumping around, tossing around in their cash-filled water towers, and then getting massages at the club. They kick the ball around and giggle a couple times. That's basically what a professional football practice is these days. And then they go out and play. So when they come out flat, you can't really inspire them with words more than a couple times a season. I mean, I don't know if Conte went in the locker room and threw water bottles at people like he's famous for. I doubt it. What he did was he said, "Hey, let's stop smashing around the box. They're just throwing numbers up. They were just throwing numbers at Udinese, and nothing
They
was
definitely
working.
changed their play style,
They
right?
drop back
Rather
deeper in the
than just like
midfield.
doing the same thing, yeah, they kind of let Udinese come out, create a little bit more space to actually
Yeah.
attack into, rather than letting Udinese crumple up into a
Yes.
very finite ball, and that gave a lot more room for Napoli to work. And Neres, this was his game to kind of break out here.
Yeah, Neres was awesome. He in the first half he was good too, but like when you're all packed in like that, there's like where does he dribble? He can't really
Nowhere to
cut
go.
in. Yeah, what are you gonna cut inside on into six defenders? No, so he kept going to the baseline, kept going to the baseline, kept going to the baseline. And it's like it, and then they drop back, and all of a sudden Neres had room behind defenders. McTominay found a beautiful pass to Lukaku. Hit the
Hmm.
Lukaku special. I think that's like the
Great
third
run.
time this series he scored a goal like that.
Yeah, Bijou
Yeah.
and Janetti in particular. Janetti in particular had an awful game. He was
Yeah,
responsible for most of those goals. He got one own goal and then poor coverage on Lukaku for the pass. I mean, there was a great pass by McTominay, but it wasn't like Lukaku made some stellar run.
no.
That's bad defending.
Yeah, I mean, Lukaku. You know where he's going to be. You can stop him if you
Yep.
can, and most of the time people can, but they could not today, or Saturday, whatever day that was. But no, it was.
He is a bull though.
He's
He's
oh
a big
he's
boy.
people give
Oh
him
yeah.
shit because he doesn't score like he used to, but
Yeah.
I mean, he is always a massive presence on there, and it's that first goal in games like this that makes the difference, and he got that goal. That was a big and a great pass from McTominay, who also he shifted his whole game. He did more of a holding role instead of box to box like he usually does. This is just good coaching. This is how you put your players in a position to succeed in the middle of a match. And this is why Conte's one of the best. And yeah, amazing turnaround for Napoli. That really pumped me up.
Yeah, they're gonna keep pace now, which is good. So a big 3-1 win for them.
Boom.
Um, we'll go next with Lecce Monza. Any of you guys see this?
No, didn't watch it.
Monza missed that one.
No, didn't
Yeah,
care.
Monza is
They missed
really
that one.
really struggling.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's
they may very well get relegated. But yeah, not much to say about that game. We'll
uh,
go next to a very interesting game, Bologna Fiorentina.
yes,
Before we
huge,
pass on
huge.
to Monza, do we know if Maldini is gonna transfer off Monza, and do we think he's gonna go to a better placing Serie A team?
Um,
I
he will. I just don't know if he'll go in January. I think he's gonna stay for the season, and then we'll see what happens next summer. If Depends who's at Milan because they have like a 50% resale clause, so they can basically cut his price down into very small. So rumors are that they may bring him back. However, if they don't, they can usually bring him back at most points due to that resale clause.
I think
I don't know.
I think he
I'm not sure
started
where he'll
out
go.
well in the season. I think his value has dropped off significantly now. He needs to finish the season strong so he can get something for him at the end of the year. Otherwise, if they sell him now, um,
I kind of think he's a player
oof.
who needs other players very mobile around him because he's pretty
Yeah,
crafty. He has good vision. He's got good technique, good free kicks, but he's not very fast. He's decently physical, can tackle a little bit, but he needs a lot of movement around him. So I think,
Atalanta. There
he's
you
not.
go.
Yeah, of course, everybody's
Yeah,
gonna do well there, but
yeah,
yes, he would do well there. Maybe Fiorentina, maybe Bologna.
yeah,
Um, those would be good shouts.
yeah.
Possibly Lazio.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I don't know if he's like Lazio plays. I don't think Lazio's a good spot. I think for him, I mean, it's a guarantee if he goes to Atalanta that he'll have the most kind of success. Bologna,
Yeah, he
maybe.
just won't get many minutes because I don't see who's gonna play ahead of.
I mean, Gasperini, he's been rotating the
Not gonna
guys.
play ahead of the Catalari. He's not gonna play ahead of
Oh, the Catalari, Bologna's going to
whatchamacallit. He's
fleece
not gonna
someone
get a
else.
Lookman. Yeah,
No, Bologna's going to fleece someone again. De Catalari is gone this year. I think they're going to sell him and cash in. They're going to cash out.
we'll see.
I really think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
They always make one big sale a season.
Yep.
That's because Gasperini, I believe, gets a chunk of these sales. So he always
Oh
wants to
yeah.
offload one player who's kind of shot up in value. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
do you think they'll actually sell the Catalari?
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't
They
buy. I
always do.
wouldn't put it by Atalanta. They don't. They're like their big players always go. I mean, like Rasmus Højlund left, for 70 mil because he was kind of like a not really a one season wonder, but yeah, basically a one season wonder.
Yeah, Coop Miners one season
Kessie
wonder.
came from
So
there. Yep,
Kessier.
Coop came from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people came from there, and they're never usually good anywhere else. There's Kessie took like 3 seasons to come good on Milan after he left Atalanta.
Yeah.
Hoyland's just starting to kind of show some strength, and that's 2 seasons out already. So I mean, yeah, it's not a bad shout actually to consider they might sell the Catalari, especially after the season.
Oh, I
Because
think
his value is
he's.
probably gonna double to like 50 plus mil, especially with the performance he's been having
Well,
to make
I've
a
read some
pretty
stuff,
penny.
and I know it's like tabloid media that this Mercato media, but there's a couple teams that are after him, because he's been playing really well, and he's young, he has a good profile, and they don't make players in that position, so and everyone thinks that because he plays for Atalanta, he's some creative playmaker, but maybe he is. I don't think so. I think he's just another uh, one in that mold. I think he's a good player with pretty good vision, and it's gonna. I hope whoever picks him up gives him like multiple years to figure it out, which is a big ask. But he's only like what, 21, 22? How old is that guy?
The Cutler is
Yeah, he's a
23.
youngin.
23. Yeah, he's still young. So I don't know. I'd be terrified to pick anyone from that position from Atalanta. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Or anyone from Atalanta in general. I mean, their wing backs are probably fine because they just run up and down. I think
Depends, man.
Ederson.
Milan went and got Conti, Andrea Conti, and he was never very good for them. It's just
Yeah,
Atalanta's a unique team, and Gasperini has a
yeah,
magic wand.
he does. He gets the most out of players. He's great at that. And yeah, he's got an amazing system, and the players know
Definitely.
exactly what's expected of them. I mean, even when he rotates players, they don't lose much. He's got it figured out. It's just his aggressive style does not fare well in Europe. And if he could just prevent
Well,
one,
I don't know, man. I mean, they just won Europa League last year, so let's see how
yeah,
he does in
no, they
Champions League
won
this
Europe.
year.
Yeah,
So
Europa League.
things are
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
changing. The
yeah.
game is changing.
I'm
You
s-
can, it's not the same as it used to be.
I misspoke. I didn't mean in
Style might be
Europe.
okay.
I meant at a high, yeah, at the highest level. Like a team like I think we saw Madrid, who's having a rough season, and they put three past him, and most of it was just defensive miscues and over-aggression, leaving your D mid as the last man back on multiple occasions. That's just bad. That's the stuff you can't do against better teams. They'll punish you for it. And,
Yeah,
it is what it
well,
is.
we will see what
Yeah.
happens.
All
But
right.
this definitely gonna be a goal fest with them. Next game we'll move into is
Bologna,
Bologna
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina. Bologna, you called this one as an upset. Not really an upset. Bologna's pretty close in the table. But big win for Bologna, and Fiorentina's momentum has been stopped. They did not set the record. So, yeah,
Well,
big game from Bologna.
that morning, Palladino's mother died, so he wasn't able to be there. So that was a big miss for Fiorentina. It was a pretty wide open, fun game. And yeah, it, Bologna just got him. Just 1-0. That's about it. Just
Sneaked one.
one little mistake from
Really sneaked
Dodo
one.
not picking up the the
Yep.
backdoor man. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But I mean, I don't think Bologna. I think Bologna got out to a slow start with the new coach and such. But they've been eking out results. In
It's actually impressive. I don't
yeah,
think Bologna has a good team at all.
no.
They lost so many good players. They have a decent team, but I think they're overachieving
Well,
with what they have. So that actually is really good on Italiano.
they lost.
I'm actually impressed.
Well, they lost their two best players. I mean, would they make 100 million on those 50 million each they sold for?
I
I
mean,
mean,
and they lost their coach. They lost Mota.
yeah,
They lost Calafiori. Right? They lost who else?
Xerxes. And
Xerxes.
and they started the season without, like, Ferguson's just coming back into form. Like he hasn't played a full game yet. He's just still
Yeah.
kind of they're rolling him back into the
Dan and
lineup.
Doya has been awesome though the past few
Yeah,
games.
big
He's been
time.
having fantastic games. Pobega's been
Yep.
stepping up the past few games as well. Those
Yes.
two guys have been very noticeable.
Yep. And
Dominguez has been pretty good too.
Dominguez
This
has been
past game
very good, and
he was quite good.
Castro and Bukima.
Castro's a tricky guy, man. He's got good vision.
I like Castro. I like him a
Yeah, he's
lot.
got good vision.
Yeah, he is a ferocious pain in the ass player. That's the kind of player I like. That guy's an absolute pain in the ass. It's I don't know if he's the guy. He's ready for a big team yet, but that's someone certainly
Let's
to
just
keep
give him
an
some
eye on.
time,
Yeah,
see how he develops, right? And we'll kind of
yeah.
go from
Let him
there.
stay in Bologna. Yeah, let him stay in Bologna. Let him get better. Let
Good
them.
team for now.
Yeah, he's. I think he's playing great.
Who do we have? We got Verona, Parma. You guys see this one? I did not
No,
see this
I
one at
didn't
all.
watch this at all. I actually don't care about these teams.
Missed
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't care
I,
too much about this game. I hate to say it. It looks
I'm
like
saying,
Simon Sohm got 2 goals there for Parma. I don't really know. Verona pulled it off. Good for them. Sorry if you guys are Verona Parma fans, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
they don't
not really a
care.
game I care
They
too
don't
much
care
about.
either.
Next
I'm
game,
here for the magic,
Yeah.
big
and
game.
if anyone from Parma or Hellas Verona or Como or any of them, if there's any sort of magic, I'm gonna watch it. And I just don't see those last, relegated teams. I just don't see them producing much watch-worthy calcio. So
That's kind of
I don't really
true.
tune in for those.
There's not like a star or like a player I really want to see on one of those teams who you're excited about. They might do something. They're just kind of duds, unfortunately,
No,
right
I
now.
mean Lecce has Dorgu. Monza
Yeah.
has Maldini.
I think Dorgo's
Um,
overrated personally, but that's just me though.
I do too. I do too. Parma has I like watching Del Prato and Boney Boy.
I think he's
Boner.
gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, he's good. And
Yeah.
then Verona has Bellahan. I think that's how you say the name. Sorry. Um, and who else does Verona have? Coppola, who's been below average, but he scored a goal today or Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was. He put one in the net, so good for Coppola.
I think the next interesting game is Roma Como.
Oof.
I
Oh.
thought Roma was going to continue along and start to stabilize. They were saying
Oof.
steady the ship, and Roma sucks, guys.
93rd
They
minute
needed it.
goal, man.
Yeah, Roma sucks. It doesn't even matter. But I mean, they didn't do anything. They had
No,
6 shots, guys. Como had
They're 1
18.
point
dude.
difference from each other.
Como had 18 shots, 7 on target. Roma had 6 shots, 1 on target. That's ridiculous.
But this entire defense is different again. Like, I don't know what Ranieri. I was just complimenting Ranieri before this game for like kind of steadying the ship a little bit and using a redundant lineup for the most part, besides like one piece here or there. And then all of a sudden, this game he changes everything. And I'm just like, what you doing,
I
man?
mean, he didn't change that much. He changed
Oh,
like one
no,
defender
there's two
and
defenders. He's been running Indica, Hummels, who was out, he had a boo boo, and Mancini. That's what he's been running. And Selleck he's been running Selleck
I don't even
at right
think
wing.
the issue was the defense. If they lose or
Uh,
tie the game, Roma gets 1 versus 0 points. The problem is they couldn't put away Como. Like that's the
eh,
problem.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Like that's an
Well,
issue.
they got Lafi in the middle, right? Instead of
He's no good.
Paredes or who's the other guy? Pisili, that's been playing really well.
Vasily
Um,
played a significant amount of the game.
Abdul Hamid. Oof. That was a rough game for him again. He's played, I think he's got one goal. Um, I
I
wasn't
mean,
there to.
that wasn't
No,
that
they were
different
already
of a
winning.
team, man.
No,
It wasn't
yeah,
that different of a team.
yeah. I don't
Like,
know.
yeah, Sule came on, Dobik came on, Pellegrini came on, Pisili came on. Like, it wasn't that different of a team. They should be able to put away Como.
It's just odd.
Roma sucks, man. Roma sucks.
Here's what's odd. Okay, I like Ranieri. I wasn't his biggest fan when he was on Juventus, but I think we could have done the same job, if not better, with Deschamps. But it's fine. That time's come and gone. Uh, why is he running Dybala as a false nine when Dovbik's healthy? Like,
Like,
and,
I get it in some games, but I really don't think you should be false nining Dybala against Como. You need to crush
right.
this team. You need to put them away. You don't need to be running some kind of like thing where you're expecting El Shaarawy and Salamakers to kind of get in there. You really just need to pound this team.
Well,
You,
and
you
they
need to put them away. That's not the crafty team to play again. Because you know Como's going to try to just lock it down, although they didn't. They definitely went forward more. But I just don't think it's the time to play this. He found something he liked. It worked the past few weeks, so he just kind of jammed it again.
well he
I don't
started
know.
out with Dybala and what's his name and Dovbik, and then he went away from it. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know
You
what's
see this
going
game,
on. It
Shane?
was very odd.
I tuned in for a bit, yeah.
What'd you see?
And it just seemed like Como was putting it to him. It seemed like Roma didn't really have the organization to defend properly and make openings for proper chances. Um, I
It
mean,
seemed pretty flat, right?
yeah, I mean, Como was just giving it to him. They had shots on target. They were coordinating with each other. They were, circulating the ball, just fundamental things that just if you slip and you don't do those things, it's gonna show. And Roma, I mean, it's just like
Want to
you're
hear?
not you're not
I just don't think
not playing
Roma
the
can,
game.
can continue this form. I mean, like because if you look against Lecce, the same front three were in. Dybala, Salamakers, El Shaarawy. They still had Angelino and
Oh,
Kone
what's
and
against them,
Selleck.
right?
They just had Paredes, but like one difference out of the front seven. I
Right.
mean, that's not that crazy. Like, yes, the back four had one difference. There was Mancini, Hummels, and Ndika. I guess two differences there, but like the issue wasn't the 90th minute goal that they scored. The issue is that Roma couldn't score and they put 6 shots.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Or one shot on
18.
target. That's crazy.
Here's what's wild. Roma had 62% of the possession and
Yeah,
only
so
six
they were controlling the
shots.
game, just
Como
did
had
nothing with it.
38% possession and 18 shots.
Which tells me it's all the attack and the midfield linking the
Yeah,
attack. So like the
yeah,
defense, whatever. It's really just pathetic.
yeah.
That's bad.
Oh man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. I was hoping that they were on the right track. But the good news is that there's going to be a lot of decent players that Ranieri is going to be selling. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Rome's.
I would take Dybala on a lot of teams.
Oh my God, yeah, I would pick him up in a second. But there's too much pride. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, yeah. No, I mean, who does Roma even keep? It's all foreign players. There's one Italian in the lineup, and it's freaking El Shaarawy.
This Pisili's looking good.
Well, Pisili didn't start
But
this
I
game.
think they got a couple good pieces. I
Cement.
like Hummels. I like Kone. I think Angelini is a good player. El Shaarawy is solid. Dybala, of course. Dovbyk, we'll see. You might, give him a full season before we kind of judge him. He might just need one season to adapt, but we'll see how he does next season. Those I think are pretty decent pieces. Sule
Yeah.
is a good player, so they have some good pieces. They just don't have a nice team overall, but they have some good pieces.
I mean, yeah. Is it time to
Agreed.
part ways with the average Italian players they have that think they are the club when they haven't achieved shit? Like,
I think they actually hold it back. I mean,
I do
and
too.
like we're all about bringing the Italians
Big
in, but
time.
like,
Yeah.
but I think Pellegrini and Cristante actually hold this team back because they're counting on these guys to be like their guys, but all they've ever known is losing.
Well, yeah.
So like your leaders are losers. I
What's
hate
his
to say it
name?
that way, but it's kind of
No,
true.
no, they're losers. Uh, uh, Ranieri said, I think midweek, like, oh, I don't want Pellegrini's not going to play until he starts smiling. Well, then he plays Pellegrini, and he had a pretty damn good game, got a goal, and then he benched him again. So I guess he stopped smiling.
It's really weird.
Do you ever have a coach ever tell you that?
No.
No, that's a little modern. Yeah, I don't know. If
Yeah, it's
I,
modern for an old guy
oh,
like Ranieri.
yeah, Ranieri's a happy guy though. He's
Weird.
he's he's different, man. He's not that hard-nosed guy that I grew up
Roma's
getting coached
interesting,
by.
man. Roma's
Yeah,
interesting. That's it's always a fun team to kind of work some rebuilds. Maybe we'll do that at some point here.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, that'd be
yeah.
a fun one.
Anything else on that game,
No,
guys? I think
not
I'm
for
all
me.
cash on that one. Shane.
It's just what happens when you get caught slipping. Roma was slipping. Como was ready and prepared to capitalize and make those
They
chances,
just didn't
and they
take him
did. They
seriously.
deserve it.
Yeah,
They came
Como.
out. It came out hot, dude. Como
Yeah,
They
actually
did.
wanted it. Like I see, like when Catrone got subbed down, like he wanted it, man. Like these players actually wanted to play, and
yeah.
Roma seemed just dead.
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
you can
Nick Paz
see
was good.
passion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm there for. That's it.
I agree. I'm there for the passion. All over
All
my
right, let's
face.
do Inter, Lazio,
Lazio.
and then we'll go to
Oh.
Juve Milan. All
Oh,
right,
did you
Inter,
watch this game,
Lazio.
Mike? Did you
Good
watch
I
this
for
saw
you,
game?
this game.
best.
Oh.
Yep. Shane, give me your take on this game. I know you saw it, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was just, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
No.
That's what I'm here for.
No.
It's
And
great.
this is from a Milan fan, guys, and I think the same thing. It was a great game. A lot of people say, hey, Lazio was controlling the first part of the game. Yeah, sure they were, but the second that first goal in, they broke.
Game's 90 minutes, guys. And what happened is, so Lazio were definitely playing out playing Inter. They were taking it to them. They were feeling good, getting all zesty, flexing their steps. And then they had an incredibly unlucky circumstance happen in the box. Offsides first, so it should have been offsides. Then there was very, very, I mean, don't have your arm out like that, dude. Handball, could be debated, whatever. And they just fell apart completely. Bitching, whining, freaking out. Where is the coach? Where is the coach to settle that down, to get the guys together and be like, dude, it's 1-0. It's 1-0. We got 50 some minutes to play. They completely and utterly imploded. It fueled Inter's fire because Inter's full of class players that have been in the in big games before, and this is a much bigger game for Lazio than it is for Inter.
It did definitely hit that guy's arm though, too. You can
it,
actually see
no,
it
it hit
change
his.
trajectory.
It barely changed trajectory. I mean,
It did though, but I think you have to call it. It's soft-ish,
yeah.
but it did hit his arm.
This
It
is
I
the
did.
mean,
problem.
like
It hit.
Why is his
His
arm
arm was
out?
not in a natural place at
Yeah,
all.
it's
why
not.
is
It
his
was
arm out?
flared out, hit his
I think it's a
forearm.
penalty.
Yeah, it's probably a penalty.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
the,
mean,
the,
think
the,
I
the
think it's
issue
a
wasn't
penalty.
that. There was an offside before. That was the
there was an offside
controversy too.
before.
Yeah, yeah. So that should
Ah,
have been called
There was.
offside. I did mention that. But why is your arm out, dude? But regardless, okay. Why are we bitching about this? I know Lazio gets screwed on calls all the time. They do.
yeah. I
But
mean, it wasn't like
Yeah.
Inter won 1 or 2-0, like it just kind of pulled off. It's 6-0.
yeah, dude. How old are these guys? Is this the first time they've been screwed over a call? And you've been on teams that
Yeah.
have been screwed multiple times. Like, have you ever bitched at a ref and got your way.
This could be a big sign about Lazio going forward. If
Yeah,
they can't deal with, if this is how they deal with adversity going forward, they may be that first team to really crumble. Like Fiorentina may come back from this Bologna loss
yeah.
okay. Lazio may not come back from this okay. This could have blown the wind out of their sails. One smoking like this could change the entire
Well,
season. They're going to be lucky that to get a little bit of break coming up here. Although I don't think Serie A's taking a big break for Christmas this
no,
time
they're
around. I think
not.
they're actually
No,
playing through it,
no, they're
which
playing
is
some
not good for
stupid ass
Lazio.
Super Copa. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's this is where you're gonna. So all the fun and games are over now for what's his name, Baroni. This is where these are the kind of problems that face you when you're coaching at the top of the table now. So now we're going to see how good of a coach he is. He did a great job of getting his team prepared, establishing a culture, getting out there and saying, here, we're going to take it to teams, player selection, tactics, awesome, yay. That's the easy stuff. These kind of circumstances are where the top coaches make their money. Like I was just saying, like Napoli slipping against Udinese, but what do they do? Well, he solved it with a tactical shift. Boom, got it. Uh, Lazio down 1-0, complete implosion. Like, come on, guy. What would they go to half 2-0? That you come back from that.
It
It's two.
wasn't that far, right? I mean, I think they
Yeah,
scored. Yeah, I think it was maybe 2-0.
it
Let
was
me
two
look
nothing.
back
Yeah,
at it
yeah, it was
here.
2-0 at the half. They scored the 41st minute on a penalty, and then they scored in the
And DeMarco
45th
got it. That
minute.
was a
Yeah,
great goal by
yeah,
DeMarco.
dude. I mean, there were so many good goals. The Barella goal was amazing, and so was the Augusto goal. Man, it was like awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, they're the best team in Serie A, no doubt about it. If they don't win, it's a complete and utter failure. I still pulling for Conti and Napoli. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
just
mean, it's gonna come down to how badly Inter wants Champions League coming up, and
yeah,
then because Conte doesn't have to battle for that in the second
yeah,
half of the season, whereas Inter should be deep in the Champions League,
yeah,
and that's gonna be really hard to go and give your all in Serie A. Then you got
yeah,
to deal with injuries and whatnot. I really think that
yeah.
that's gonna tell us everything. If Inter gets out of Champions League early, they have a shot to win the league. If they
I
don't,
totally agree.
I think that it's gonna be Napoli to probably take it.
So do you think Atalanta's going to fall off as well?
Atalanta always falls off.
I
So
agree.
I only have to go by history and say yes,
Yeah.
but you never know. This Gasperini won his first big title last year. This could be a difference if he actually takes Serie A. He could be truly building something finally. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a lot is going to be revealed the second half of the season in the
Yes.
actual
yep,
money games. So
totally.
Yes. All right.
all right, what do we
Time
got
to get
next?
time
All
to get
right,
down and dirty.
Juve time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You guys can kind of take it away, lead. Shane, why don't you start if you saw this one because Anthony, you could probably go wild on this one.
No, it's been a few days now, and honestly, this is
You're cooled off.
I expected this anyways. This is the kind of performance I expect out of this team. No, you guys,
I mean,
say your
yeah.
piece.
I mean, you're dealing with number 20 in the Serie A.
Yeah.
Venezia is not looking good this year. At least they're in the Serie A, which is a good step for them, but
Yeah.
they're still not pulling any weight. But for Juve to drop the ball like this, I mean, it just you get caught slipping. That's the name of the game. And people that are ready, teams that are ready, they're going to capitalize on that.
The only
Simple as that.
thing I will say, I guess two things. One, Juve just looked a little bit sloppy again, and this is what happens. They can't continue things in a row. They can't continue momentum. Two, I can't believe the amount of celebration they got after scoring one goal against bottom feeder Venezia.
Yeah.
They do not act like they've been there. They were freaking out after Gotti's goal. It's like, wow, guys, like this is the biggest accomplishment of your life.
It's so sad.
It's really wild. They need
Yep.
to put
Went
these
straight
things
up to the
away and
ultras.
bury them.
Yeah. You should have seen the game today in the Copa. It's like embarrassing. It's embarrassing behavior from my
Like,
club.
this is the only accomplishment they've ever had. And it's
Yeah.
like, you just know, for me, for that type of mentality, they don't have it. So they don't have what it takes to kind of reach, a pinnacle. This does not look good. So, all right, bro, go for it. Give me your take. What do you think?
I mean, this is what happens when you build a team of foreign mercenaries. This is what happens when you play a guy in a pivotal position that needs to be a focal point that isn't capable of doing that role. I mean,
You're
everyone
talking
all
about Coop,
year,
I'm assuming?
yeah, everyone this year has been, clamoring for Yildiz to play there. Well, he can't play there because Thiago Motta insists on playing Coop there. It's not working, and we generate no offense, no creativity. All we do is we say, and we didn't start him. All we do is say, hey, Chico, figure it out. So our entire hopes and dreams rest on a 19-year-old and a
For those
21-year-old.
of you who don't know who Chico is, that is Conceição.
Yeah, they know Chico. Everyone knows Chico. Um, this is if you just look at this team and you think and you look at it on paper and you think this is a Juventus quality team, you're lying to yourself. You just want it to be good because you love the club and you just want to believe that it's going to work. This is a
Yeah,
terrible
there's
team on
there's just a
paper.
handful of guys who
Like
belong. That's about it. Same
I
same
yeah,
on Milan.
I
Just a
like some
handful.
of these guys, but like I don't think even the guys that I like should be starting. Okay, Di Gregorio, he's okay. I like him. It was a good move. Fine. Cheap, decent contract, and we got a big contract off the books. Him and Perrin, I don't know who's better. They both have their qualities. Whatever. Good signing though. He'll be here for a while. He did. I did like the way he stepped up in the Man City game. That was a big save
Yeah,
because that
yeah,
could
it's
turn the
good.
game around. So that says a lot about him. But that's one instance of it. We got to see more of it. But I have nothing to say bad about Di Gregorio, other than I don't think he's like the greatest keeper in the world. But you don't need that. That's hard to find. Savona's been having a great season. He's 23. He's older than he should be to be, just coming out of development. But he's been excellent defensively, shutting big names down all season. Lacks going forward. That's fine. I think he's a center back in a three-man back line, not a side.
I think
Certainly
he's all
not
right
a.
going forward. He's got a good amount of goals for
He's
a
a, he,
side back
well,
already.
yeah. He's good in the box. He's tall. He's big. Gatti to me is awesome story. Love the guy. Big heart. You know,
He's a great club guy, but let's
yeah,
be real. If this was a UV team in the past, he should be a sub. He has
absolutely.
to start because next to Bremer, he's their
Yeah.
next best defender. But I don't think at a real
Right.
Juve dynasty team he should be a starter. But it's what you got.
No, and it says a lot about his character though this year when he is playing up above his ability level because he has to.
Yeah,
Because
no, he's been good.
Kalulu's, he's a tactical disaster. I mean, Kalulu has some good qualities, but he's an absolute, he's just not aware.
Yeah,
And
he makes a lot of mistakes.
Gatti's done a great job of covering up for him. Gatti's playing above and beyond his capability. So if he makes a mistake, that's kind of his thing. Don't be shocked. It's amazing he's playing so well, in my opinion, and I'm glad for it because that shows that's the kind of thing that I think Shane you were saying about earlier. That's the passion for the club, and he has to step up and do it. Savona is stepping up and getting the job done, taking care of Leao in his first time, playing against a big guy like that, and Kvaratskhelia, and I don't know the three people on man's just great job for him. Kalulu. Then there's Kalulu out here. Good price, whatever, fine. He's an average player. He's not a great defender. He's kind of fast, not that fast, kind of fast. Tactical liability, makes some nice slide tackles.
Yeah.
He's not even that good going forward. He's not great with the ball. He just has pace. Danilo, he played amazing against Man City. Moved the ball kind of. He was one of the only players that would get the ball that would actually try to move it forward. Everyone was just
Yeah, he's had a decent few weeks.
yeah, in this 2-7-2 Pep Guardiola wannabe system that everyone thinks is so revolutionary, but it's just a carbon copy of what everyone's trying to do. It's just another fad system and another fad coach. We got Danilo was the only one that when he'd get the ball, he'd try to smack it forward, smack across, like move this sucker around. Thuram and McKennie, I mean, McKennie is an excellent squad guy. It's a guy you want in your squad. He'll play right back. He'll play D mid. He'll play side mid. He'll play wing back. He'll play striker. He'll play attacking mid. He'll play water boy. Whatever you need him to do, he's going to do, and he usually does it pretty damn well. He gives you about a C plus to a B minus performance, and every once in a while, like against Man City, when the vibes are really kicking in, he feels it, and boom, he makes something happen. So he's a good squad guy. He's not a starter. You know,
Yeah.
Although this is probably if we're going to start him, you're going to start him against the last place team in the league, so we should have been fine. Thuram, good prospect, good potential. Not a creative player, not a great dribbler. Big, strong. That's what he's there. He's there to win the ball back. We're supposed to have a possession team, by the way. We got
Yeah, there's
two
not a
ball
great
winners here.
link. There's not a great link
Huh?
between Juve's midfield
Look at
and
this team.
attack.
Look at this team. Tim Weah, another guy, pretty good guy. Play right, left, striker. He tries. He does everything pretty well. Has his moments.
Good wing
Yildiz,
back.
yeah,
Doesn't
good
get to
wing
play
back.
it often, but good wing back.
Yeah, I
Probably ideal
preferred him
position
there.
for him.
I preferred him there. Everyone's like, everyone thinks he needed to score goals. He was at wing back. It's like, no, man, he worked his ass off. He did
Yeah,
well
he's a
defensively.
good
Yeah,
cog. He's a good
yeah,
cog.
yeah, exactly. So all these guys to me are just cogs in the wheel. And like we already had that. We got
That's kind of the modern way, though. Like, really think of where the game's going. And we've talked about this in the past. A lot of former players have said this is kind of the way of the game, and I agree. It's about being robotic. It's about just playing your role. There's not a lot of individual interpretation left. There's no Ronaldinho's out there anymore. There's not players like that. There's not many
oh
guys
yeah.
like Totti. There's a couple of crafty players out there, and that's it. You can probably count them on one hand, maybe two, in the entire world.
Well, the
Like, who
problem
are
is,
playing that role.
and there's very few coaches that even want him anymore because they'd rather just have a robot that's going to do as they're told.
Right, and I
You
think
know?
Mota is one of those coaches who
Yeah,
just
definitely.
wants his guys to do what he wants them to do. You know, as I said, he's like a semi similar version of Pep, but just not as good of a
Well,
version
yeah,
of
he's
it
just
because he
copying
doesn't have the
Pep.
players.
Every
Yeah,
single coach is
it's
copying
not
Pep.
revolutionary, you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, it's the same thing everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Then
What
you
do you
got
think caused this tie, which basically feels like a loss? But I mean, if you had to kind of give it up, because
just lack of effort.
to me, yeah, it looked like a couple blown coverages. Like Sawana didn't cover his man on the first one, so but he's a kid, he's gonna make mistakes,
Yeah.
and then pretty rough attempt from Gatti on the other header. It's just two header
So
goals really.
so it's
So just individual moments of weakness there,
well,
or you think it was more of a team collective?
it's a team collective all the way. Yeah, we have zero link up play. We have zero vertical passing game. We have horrible crosses, zero movement, absolutely zero creative players on the field. There's not a single creative player on the field. Yildiz is not a creative player. I like Yildiz. Yildiz is a 19-year-old kid. He's doing an amazing job. I really hope we don't ruin his talent. Vlahovic is out there fighting. Like Vlahovic is not a
Yeah,
bad player.
got another goal this game.
We cannot get the damn well, it's a penalty again. We cannot get the damn ball to this guy. And you saw it in the
Yeah,
Copa. Like today,
I
we were
agree.
getting balls to him. Today, balls were getting to
Yeah,
Vlahovic.
yeah,
Vlahovic was dangerous.
yes.
Yeah, he was offsides. That's fine. Strikers get offside. That's okay. This is the world we live in now. I mean, people in Zaghi, remember that freaking guy? I'm not trying to compare them, but it's okay. It's okay. He's getting in dangerous positions. He's making things happen. He did it against Man City. He is not. If you sell Vlahovic, it's gonna be very hard to find a
Yeah, I
striker.
mean, do you really trust this team to replace him? And
I
that's the thing, because people are like, oh, you can sell him, and then you got all this money to spend. I'm like, whoa, who did Juve get this season? Like, you do trust them? Look at how much they blew, like a 200 million budget. You think you trust them to replace Vlahovic, who you need right now? And he's the only, honestly, every time he plays, you guys do get goals. When he doesn't play, it's like a 0-0 game.
100%. It's. I do not trust. What's this idiot's name? Giuntoli. I don't trust him to buy
Juntale,
anybody.
yeah, no,
He, I mean, his best signing was Conceição. I love Conceição. He walks
yeah,
onto the pitch
that
pissed
guy's good,
off.
man.
He
He's
walks off the
young,
pitch
he
pissed
fights every
off.
game.
I love the guy. Okay, he's like a
Good signing.
5'3" winger. There's a million wingers. Every game, every match I watch, there's a excellent winger. I like Conceição a whole bunch, but
Right,
that's
he's not
not.
like some like amazing one of a kind talent, but he
No.
is very good. I think it was a
Yeah.
great pick. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get you.
There's a lot of wingers. You can put it in Doy or whatever the guy is from Bologna. That guy's having a good season too. He's putting balls in the net. It's like there's options out there.
Yeah,
Um, so if you get rid of Vlahovic, yeah, there are other strikers you can get, but like you guys want Xerxes? So Xerxes so much better than Vlahovic, right? Well, on a supposedly more attacking focused team last year, Xerxes scored 9 goals. And under evil Nazi Allegri, who doesn't know how to attack and is just the worst coach ever, Vlahovic got 16. So
yeah,
you really
exactly. I mean,
want
yeah,
Xerxes?
you're right. The people that they hate on Allegri so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, oh, he doesn't do anything. He just plays ugly ball. Well, Vlahovic got a ton of goals even under Allegri. The
Yeah, he
guy's
did.
good, man. And look where Vlahovic is not gonna be linked to small teams. He just got linked with
No.
Arsenal recently. Now
Yeah,
he's only gonna go to a top team.
he's gonna go to a big team. He's gonna do great because he's gonna get consistent service, and like today in the Copa, he had a lot of chances and he buried. Here's what people need to see with Vlahovic. It was a 0-0 game. It was going okay, not really got great. And actually, the what's her name? Cagliari came out the better team and had some. Thank God the guys shooting weren't like Turam or Barella or Mkhitaryan because those balls would be in the net. There were I don't even remember their damn names. It was Cagliari's B team, by the way, not even their A team. They started their backups, and you know who got the first goal again? Same against Man City. Who got the first goal to break it open? He does those things, and that's a very important thing to. I don't think he's the greatest striker in the world. I'm not like
But he's not the
I'm
problem.
not a huge. Yeah, he's not the problem at all.
He's not the problem. It's
No.
the team around him.
Yeah. So anyway, so we go down, or so we go up 1-0. And you could just feel it happening. You could just feel it like these young guys and the losers they brought in to play alongside him are just not. They're like, it's not working. It's not working, and they just start deflating, 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 deflating. And sure enough, you give them just enough belief, and they come back in the game. Yep, Savona missed the coverage on the one. That's fine. I'm not going to blame him. He's been really good this season.
It's the thing you
But
see on these against these smaller teams. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this before. Is like if you just allow them a little bit too much space, a little too much time, and you don't actually put these small teams away, you're inviting them to get a little sloppy goal or something like that and tie the game and take your points away. You do need to put these teams away. There is something to be said about just grinding out like a 1-0 win or something like that, getting a late counterattacking goal. But more often than not, you see these teams when you give them a little bit, they do come back sometimes and really bite you in the ass.
well, the problem is and this is where people bitch at Conte, but this is why he's exactly right. Okay, if we would have actually stopped trying to get another one, we'd have been fine. Everything they were getting was on a counterattack. Everything they were getting on it was on a counterattack. All their opportunities were like, it's Oristano again, Oristano again. I think I said it in the last thing. The guy's a good player, man. He's not a great player, but he's fast. He's annoying. And for our dumbass defenders, it was enough for them to cause problems. And I don't. Another point I wanted to make is the best midfielder it was the man of the match was Nicolucci Caviglia, a guy we got rid of last year, and I think we should have got rid of him. I don't think he shouldn't have been Juventus quality, but like I would have taken him on our team in place of anybody we had on the pitch yesterday. He was moving well, tackling well, moving the ball, not just making baby passes to the center backs. He was moving the ball forward. I mean, why can we not find players who understand how to move? And I'm not Moto's biggest fan by any means. Okay, and don't mistake me for a Allegri guy either. I'm not. I'm a Conte guy, but like it's not Moto's fault that the players don't run. He's not out there saying don't run, stand in your positions, don't move, pass it to the defense. He's not saying that. Okay, the players are doing that because they're scared, because they don't have any confidence, because they haven't won anything in their careers. They're not big time players. Okay, they're all these players that were brought in are supplemental guys on teams that have done better. They weren't like a key member of that team, a main linchpin. They're not great players, and then they bring them in and put them with a bunch of young guys. There's no character on this team, none, and there will be maybe one day with guys like Yildiz, but you got to get people around him and build a culture, and you're not building a culture.
Yeah, it's not really the way to
players.
build a team like that. When a team like Madrid or Barcelona incorporates these guys, they're coming into a pretty good team. I mean, yes, sometimes when there's a full rebuild, they don't have that luxury, but usually you want to bring the youngsters into a team where there's some actual pros around them who've been there, done that. That way they grow properly.
Yeah, Barcelona brings in Lewandowski, guys like that. Guys are class players. You know what to expect from them. They've done it for a while. It's a known entity. It's worth the money. Moji called this out before we started the season. He said Koopa's not a leader. He's not this. He cannot be a focal point. He goes Douglas Luiz is too slow. His game is too slow. These are things he said already. He likes some of the young guys, and so do I. Because young guys have all upside, and they're on good contracts. It's a low risk. How do you mitigate risk? Cost. Okay? Work rate. If they work hard, at least if they have a bad game, they're going to be working hard. Okay? And then history. So, or potential. Young guys have potential. It's worth a risk. They have a high risk work rate. If they have a bad game, they at least work hard. Like guys like Moise Keane. When he wasn't putting the balls in the net, but by golly, he was out there making things happen, working well with his teammates, fighting for balls, we don't have players like that. So when the air leaves the freaking ball, it just gets completely flat, and it's sad. We got a very lucky call at the end of that game to tie it. That game was 2-1. We were losing that game. We got a very lucky call to tie it up, and then like you said earlier, like Vlahovic ties it with a penalty, and then starts like chirping the opponent because he's all pissed off. It's like, dude, you're bitching at a guy that probably makes in 1 year what you make in a week. It's been a struggle for you guys to even get to this point. You should be ashamed of yourself. Pick up the damn ball, put it in the center circle, and go get another one, dude. What's wrong with you?
I don't know, you guys got a lot of things to work on. I'm very curious to see how they kind of handle the rest of the games. Are you guys ready to move on
Yeah,
to
let's move on to
the
Milan.
last game of the week? All
Yeah,
right,
baby.
Shane, did you see Milan Genoa?
I very much did, and I think it was probably their biggest letdown they could have done this season. I think whatever game is to come, this will probably be the worse off for the rest of the season.
You
You
think
got
just
all the
because it was
stars
such a big
coming out.
occasion?
Yeah, you got all the previous players, all the World Cup winners, Champions League winners coming to see what we have to offer this day and age. And I have a hard time. I'm guilty of this. I have a hard time letting go of the legacy that those guys have created in the early 2000s. And this is what the team is right now. And the Milan brand has such a culture and a following, and the expectation is so high for these current players to live up to that, and they're just not there. The level is different these days. It's not going to be the same. I don't think it, hopefully it will return to that, but as of right now, the same with Juve, the teams are different and they're not what they used to be, and people hold on to that. They think they should be at that level, and they're totally not because the players can't perform that way.
Yeah,
And
they
this game
almost
just
feel these players, but they kind of like pretend like these players are at those levels or are good enough because I think they're like
yeah,
reminiscing, but they're definitely not at those levels.
No, not even
it's a
close.
lack of accepting the current level of these players. And I mean, they should have bagged Genoa. I mean, for this,
Yeah,
even for the hype of this event and how big it was, I mean, it just showed where the team currently is. And so I think it was just a big wake up call for all the fans.
Oh, I'm actually super happy this finally happened because there's such a complacency among Milan and Juventus fans where I don't know what happened, and if it was always like this. I certainly don't remember it being this way, but they'll just accept anything that is put out there, and they've done it for so long. Oh, I just want to be excited. I just want to be excited. I get it, but like, you have a major event happening, and that's how your guys perform. That's
yeah,
how
it's a very big layup game too. Genoa's not a good
Genoa's at
team.
least
Like
Milan
this
should
is
beat
the
them all
perfect
day.
game to have a celebration, to go smoke them like 3-0 or something like that. Really try hard. You got all your legends right there, and you're just letting these people down. You're letting the fans down. I mean,
I mean, at least
it was
fight.
pretty bad.
At,
No, you don't see the fight. You don't see fight. At least not for 90 minutes. Maybe
no,
10 minutes of a game you see a fight. That's it.
these two clubs are in the same exact spot. Just continue with the Milan debacle though. It was they're like a year ahead of us, man, and it was incredibly shameful performance in front of all those people. But I liked how Maldini wasn't there. That's a
So
big
there's a lot of
oops.
stuff with that. Yeah, I mean Maldini definitely wasn't there. That's and people can say what they want about that. But I think he's right to not go. He was treated like crap. He was
Yep.
ousted like a dog. Very very disrespectful. It
I
wasn't
wouldn't I
CDK
wouldn't show
signing
up.
that fired him. They used that, but they just wanted him out because he wanted more from this club. He wanted to go to the next level, and they didn't want that. And they got weasels like Furlani here. There's a lot of drama that happened behind the scenes. I think I brought up
Furlani.
some of it last time. A lot of this is all trickling down from that top structure, right? You got Cardinale, who's the kind of head honcho. He's just businessman, and he's putting these guys in place. Moncada is a decent scout in his own right, but he should just be a scout. He doesn't need to be management. Furlani is he's not great at his job. He's very much a weasel. Ibrahimovic is basically a mascot. He cannot do the role that Maldini does. Plus, he's just off making social media posts. He's not actually there for the team. He's not actually helping them grow. And you can see this. When Maldini was there, the youngsters grew. They became men. They started getting better and better, and you're getting the best out of players. They were trying. Now you don't really see that at all. What you're seeing is actually a lot of poor performance. Give
Yeah,
me
I mean,
one sec, guys.
yeah, yeah. I mean, To me, these
Yeah,
clubs are
I
in
mean,
a very similar spot. I mean, you have a bunch of foreign mercenaries in your club. What did you expect? Did you expect them to truly give a shit about it? No, of course they don't. Every single player that comes in, that almost every single one of them now, oh, I've always been a Milan fan my whole life growing up. They kiss the little logo. They do all the things the fans want to butter them up and make them feel real nice and cozy. And
mhm.
then it that's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. How do
It
you?
gets a lot of people. I
It
mean, because
does. Oh, it gets
and I
most.
get it. You
Yeah.
want to be part of the community, and that's fine. But like, in my opinion, though, really the community has a duty to get Milan back to where it needs to be. If you just keep accepting this and you keep buying all the merch and the uniform and stuff like that, you're just letting these people know that they can crap on you, and you can keep making the same product, and you can hate the product. But I mean, if you keep supporting them, then they're just gonna do the same thing because they're gonna be laughing their way all the way to the bank. Like the fans do need to protest. They finally did it. The Curva sued. I'm glad they finally said something, but they're also a pretty finicky and weak group of people. They were the ones who, gave Maldini an awful send off when he retired from the game. Half of them said it was totally fine to fire him because they liked the new wave and to kind of get the new thing in.
Isn't it so exciting?
But I
Money
mean,
isn't Moneyball so much better?
it's just gross.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. There's a real issue, and the real Milan fan base has to take this club back. So I'm glad that there were calls for Cardinale to sell. I think that's what needs to happen. It's got to be from the top down. They got to get these guys out. It's very embarrassing to see all of your legends come, and I can't point to a single guy in this team who could become a legend.
No. So
There's some
is it
talented players, don't get me wrong, but legends, absolutely not.
Yeah,
okay? So let
none.
me ask you this. So I've been having debates lately. Is it with my Juve guys? And they're like, oh no, it's Mota. Oh no, it's Giuntoli. With Milan, is it Fonseca? Is it the players?
I
Because
gotta
for
say
me, I
something
blame
about
the players.
Fonseca. Fonseca is not a coach who can handle Milan. He's not a coach who can handle Milan. He's a solid coach. He could be good well anywhere else like Lazio, Bologna, Fiorentina. That's a Fonseca level team. He's not to blame. He was offered a good deal. He was offered to coach a huge team. He's gonna take it. It's
Yeah.
not his problem, and he's actually much less. I thought he was gonna be just like a yes man, like a beta guy, and just do whatever Cardinale wants. He's not. He's benching Leao. He's benching Teo. When he sees an attitude problem, he calls it out. He's a little bit too public for my liking because you're supposed to keep some of that stuff under wraps. But this guy's he's got a sack, and he actually impressed me with that. His tactics are not good. He plays the wrong formation all the time, which is what people got mad at Pioli about. So tactically, he has not been good. But I mean, he's not like he is a problem, but it's not his fault. I mean, you know what you're getting with him. As I say before, he's been in the game for 20 years or so. You know what type of coach he is. This is all management. They had Conte waiting, didn't go for him. They had Mota waiting, didn't go for him. There's De Zerbi out there. There's Sarri out there. There's Conceição out there. There's so
There's
many coaches
Allegri. You
out
could
there,
have brought
and they
Allegri back,
choose
baby.
him. At this point, you might need Allegri to save your season. It's going to be ugly and dirty, but he'll qualify you.
I mean,
It's just it's not Fonseca's problem. And they're going to use him as a scapegoat. Like they always pick one person each season. First season it was Maldini and his transfer mistake with CDK, which was not a mistake. Obviously now we're finding out. Second season was Pioli because he just has bad tactics, and yeah he does, but he always qualifies you. Now who's it going to be? But I think the fans are starting to figure it out. They're not falling for the media stuff. Oh, Fonseca's bad. This is Cardinale and his team, Ibrahimovic, Moncada, Forlani. That's what's going on at Milan. They just fired Dottavio. He does nothing anyways. He's not a problem. The
well,
issue are those four guys.
the problem is these owners and we're an American-owned company too. Make no bones about it. Elkin is very similar mentality. Okay, so that we are no longer trying to build the dynasty. We are trying to be quote unquote sustainable, which is the dumbest term I've ever heard used for a professional sports team because it's not a sustainable model. I'm sorry. At least if you want to achieve success,
If you want to win, it's
yeah,
not.
it's not. So like after they won their Scudetto, what year was that again? 21.
Who?
Milan.
It was 2 years ago, right?
20. Well, I don't even know what year.
I think it was
22.
like 21, 22
Okay.
because it was what Inter won last year, Napoli won the year before, and then it was Milan the
Right.
year before that. So
Okay. So
21,
how
22.
many have they won in the past? What 5 years?
It's just the one.
Right. So and they're not even close. They're further
No,
away
Milan
now.
was getting better and better and better, and then they
Yes.
offloaded Maldini. Redbird fully took over, and ever since they fully took over, it's been a downturn,
When
big time.
Maldini was there, I didn't love all his signings, but they
Agreed. He was
they
also
had
handcuffed.
They had some good signings, and they were always moving forward.
Well, look at what they actually signed people who could become world-class players. I will give it to Redbird for hitting two signings on the head. I think Reinders is a very good player, but he
Yeah,
does need a team around him. He can't do it himself. And then I think Pulisic is an awesome player. So I think
yeah.
they hit those two signings on the head. The rest, I don't think they hit at all. I mean, Fofana's good, but he's no legend. But the rest are not so good.
Well, do you think under a better coach with your current roster, you could win the Scudetto?
Absolutely
No.
not. But they could qualify for top four. So Fonseca, when they made that choice, you just knew that this management is not serious about winning. Like, and I think everybody, even people who were on the kind of Redbird bandwagon, say, you know what, though, you got to give these guys a chance. They knew when you
That's
hired Fonseca, it was not a serious signal.
I
And that's
hate
nothing
that
against
shit. Give him a
Fonseca. It's just
chance.
against Redbird.
Give him a chance. It takes time. Losers take time. Winners win. Okay? There's plenty of evidence of that. Look at freaking Conte. He's going to go in and win. Right now with Napoli, if they fail, they'll finish second place like he did with Inter, and they'll come back and win the next year that they restock and retool. Regardless, every year he's going to be in the fight, getting bloody.
Shane, were you watching when Milan signed Marco Giampaolo? It was one of the first years that it was actually the first year that Maldini was here, when Elliott was still owning it and not Redbird. Were you here for that season or no?
That seems like before my time.
Okay, it's probably like 2 years before. So what happened that season is Maldini made a really crappy call. Maldini and Massara and Boban, I believe, they chose Marco Giampaolo. He was coaching Sampdoria at the time. He showed some sparks of good coaching. He was terrible. He started off like a total slob. They offed him, I think, in 7 games because they knew it was going bad. Now that's a management who wants to win. They hired Pioli and he qualified them. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right now, you're hanging on to Fonseca halfway through the season
Making
because
excuses.
they have too much pride that that's their guy. Now they might get rid of him in this little mercato period here. It's possible, depending on how the next game or two goes. But still, it's already been too long. As I said, yes, they should change coaches. However, it's not because Fonseca is a terrible coach. He was never the right call, and it's not on Fonseca. This is on management. So
Yeah,
I just
management
want
puts him
people to
in.
know that I don't have
Yeah.
anything against Fonseca.
Yeah.
Like the guy is fine. He's not Milan level, but this is on Milan's management, and that's where all this kind of hate and vitriol needs to be directed. It's got to be the management. I'm glad to finally see it, and I don't want it to stop.
Well,
These guys got to go.
and it's a messy circumstance to walk into too. It's not like he's walking into some big old happy family with a bunch of guys who want to go play. He's got a mercenary team of guys that are like more interested in what their clothes or tattoos, their
Fashion
music.
line. I mean,
Yeah,
they're launching all these lines,
yeah,
just like off-white line, all
yeah.
these things that like half the times they're just taking model shots. Like
Yeah.
Hernandez is modeling now. Leao's got his fashion brand. Like this is what happens when they just get all involved in
Unreal.
social media culture, cash culture.
Unreal.
They don't care anymore about
Yeah.
actual Milan. Like it's just weird.
Yeah, no, it's
This is not what I like fell in love with watching. Nobody's
no.
dying for the team anymore. Nobody's bleeding for the team. You sold the one guy who did, which is Tonali.
Yeah.
Not now the only guy left is Gabia.
Yeah,
Like who else is bleeding for the team?
well, this goes back to the culture conversation. I've had a few nice debates with people on X. It's like this is the how do you build a culture in a team? I say you certainly don't buy it, which is exactly what Giuntoli and Milan have
You
done.
can buy a couple people who you know are
Buy
gonna
a couple
fit your
pieces.
thing. Yeah, like Tonali
Yeah,
was bought from Brescia, but he's a lifelong Milan fan. You knew that he
yeah, that's
wanted
not
to
what I
come
mean.
there.
You know what I mean. You don't bring
But you
in.
but you bring up
Yeah,
your kids who have been there. Like look at the
yeah,
best player of last game or of this past game. It was Jimenez, right? I mean, you guys probably saw it. Jimenez is a youth product who's growing up in the Primavera for Milan. That guy fought hard, like
one hundred
because he
percent.
cares. He's growing up in the system. These are the guys you need to implement. You need to keep playing Liberali. You need to keep playing Camarda. Keep playing these youth guys who actually belong and can slowly get your culture back. It's going to be a process, but this is what Milan has to do. Then you surround them by some top pieces that you actually bring in to help these guys grow. That's the only way forward.
This is the exact thing I've been saying about Juventus. You know, if you even look at the Man City game in what's that like Foot Mob site, whatever the player ratings are, all the best players were guys that are either homegrown talents, Italian, or had been here for years. All the new guys had terrible stats. Even Chico, he didn't play a good game in that game. Low stats. Like
Well, I think it's very hard for a new guy to come into a team
it
that doesn't
is.
have an established culture. They don't know what to
It's
do. So
like
it's even extra hard for them to come in and like, well, I don't, maybe they're learning the language, maybe they're not, but either way, they're coming in from a different team, a different environment, and then this team doesn't have like a home. It's like all over the place. How the heck are you going to perform in there?
oh,
Which is
exactly.
exactly why a lot of these new signings aren't performing for either of these two teams.
It was
Milan,
you
you
know
have.
back in the day when our teams were stacked and yada yada yada, great, wonderful. But like we did see rebuilds recently. We saw Juventus get rebuilt recently. We saw Inter get rebuilt recently. Yes, it was the same guys doing it, but they both built dynasties. I mean, look at Inter now, man. Inter is the
Yeah,
only team that that can compete at a
on
Champions
all
League level.
stages.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
all stages. That is a true class team. And guess what? It's
Yep.
built in the
Pretty much.
modern era where we claim that there aren't any players that are good enough. They have truly world class players on that team. Truly
Hmm.
world class players. And guess who they are? Barella, Bastoni, DiMarco, all Primavera talents, all brought up to a system, raised by a good coach in a solid environment. When they were brought into a
Well,
team,
Burley was bought, right? Because he was on
we,
like I don't know, Cagliari Genoa or something. I
yeah,
can't remember what.
he
Yeah,
was like 20, yeah,
he was bought.
19, yeah, yeah. Conti brings him in and starts running him out there, giving him regular action, and they put these young players in a team with a. They dismantled the foreign Inter, and they were starting like 7 Italians. I've never seen an Inter do this before. But this was the philosophy. This is what they did with Juventus. This is what they did with Inter. And then slowly over time, they added class piece after class piece. This guy on a free, Turam on a free, Mkhitaryan, Zelinski. These guys, like, they could fit the system so well because they know exactly what they need. They know exactly what they're looking for because there's an established system in place and there's a culture that's been uh, breeding for years now, built on your home land. This is what
Hmm.
these teams, Juventus and Milan, need to do if they want to take themselves seriously. This is just
Yeah, I think it's important, and it's something that, of course, I know we talk about a lot, and it's kind of like a broken record, but it is important because these teams have that, and I say this to people all the time. Like, yes, some people just say it doesn't matter where they're from as long as they're a good player, and I say that's fine for like your world class players, but for your core, it's not because Milan and Juve especially, they don't have a culture like Udinese where they just get players from wherever. They're built off the back of the homegrown talent, right? I mean, there's a reason Milan and Inter split. There's literally it's in the name. So you have to respect that. Inter's Inter because they're Internazionale di Milan. They were just wanted to go get foreign talents. Milan wanted to keep a homegrown core. And then we lost it somewhere along the way. Even when they had the three Dutchmen, Rijkaard, Hula, and Van Basten, there were three
world
Dutchmen on a
class
team of
players.
11 Italian.
Yeah.
Or sorry, eight Italians and three Dutchmen. I know there were some rules and regulations back then, but still, that's what you look back on. In '06, it was seven Italian guys, I think, on the starting lineup with people Inzaghi, Gattuso, Kaká, or sorry, Gattuso, Pirlo, Ambrosini, all those guys. But I'm not saying you need seven, but I want to at least see a few. I wanted to see Tonali, Gabi can stay, Bellanova should be here, Calafiore should have been here. Just guys like that is enough. And then you got your guys like your Teos, your Magnans, your Leaos.
Yeah.
Then you have a real team. That's all you need to do. And this culture, I think, has to just slowly come back for both our teams, or we're gonna drift further and further into another banter era. And
Oh,
that's kind of what I see happening.
yeah, I think Juve's in one right now. I think they're going towards it. They've had a real rough few years,
Yeah,
especially
they
too.
brought
We're in one.
Giuntoli, and he seems like he is
He's
hell bent on starting a banter era.
no, he is. He has completely destroyed the Italian core. I mean, if the new signings he got weren't so bad, I mean, they've been terrible. I mean, he spent 130 million dollars on center midfielders. Those all three of those players were intended to start. They've just been so bad that Locatelli has been playing, and
Yeah, they've been
Locatelli's been
bad.
playing great because guess what? He gives a shit.
Yeah, Milan signings were better because
Yeah,
they don't overspend on players. I'll give them that. And part of me actually kind of respects not overspending on a lot of players because the money in the game is outrageous.
yeah,
I'll end with this for me. The only good thing about that game was those Milan jerseys were awesome.
they were
That
awesome.
looked like an AC Milan team. They didn't look like
They
some
were.
weird fiery red. That was a badass jersey.
Yeah, baby.
And
Yep.
if I didn't hate this management so much, I would have bought that jersey.
Yeah,
But I
don't buy
cannot
one.
give them
100%.
a penny. When they leave, I'm gonna buy that jersey.
Yeah,
While they're here, I can't do it.
you can buy it in the
When they go
aftermarket.
back on Depop, because people are fucking over it, and I'm gonna scoop that shit up for $35. So
There you go.
There
of the
you go.
jersey, would buy it. Don't support this current situation that's going on.
I
I
totally
need a
agree.
change
I I
before I start contributing.
I feel the same exact way. I feel the same exact way. I think what else happened? Anything exciting Oh, yeah,
I don't
the
know.
Copa.
I think we probably wrap it up there. I mean, Copa Italia wise, Juve won what 4-0. That's what happened today. I mean, that's kind of all that we can talk
Yes,
about
we
there.
did.
That was the only game of the day, right? Was
We
just
were
Juve?
once again celebrating like it was the greatest achievement.
Yeah.
the
Vinny
fans are
Cagliari.
the fans are going ballistic. Oh my God! It's like, that was their. That was it was not just Cagliari. It was their B team. I
Yeah.
mean, like, come on,
Upcoming
guys.
is Atalanta Cesena tomorrow. That should be a mopping. And then
Yeah.
Roma Sampdoria. I mean, you never know with Roma. I don't even know. I know Atalanta will win that game, but Roma,
I
man,
mean,
I have no idea.
who knows, dude? I mean,
Who
honestly,
does who does Sampdoria even have?
I don't even give a crap about the Copa, honestly. And not
It's
until
just
it
like
gets to, like, the semifinals, I couldn't
yeah,
care less.
but that may be Roma's chance to get Europa League. They're that bad. They might have to try to
That
win the
is true.
Copa to get into Europa League. I don't know.
Well, next week though, all the teams that are fighting for the stuff have games they should win. So
Yeah,
next week,
let's do a preview. Let's do a
yeah,
preview of next week's Serie A, and then we can probably wrap it
who
up. You get
slips
was
on the
there any
banana
more
peel?
that either you guys wanted to say about the Milan game, or no? We good? I'm
No,
good.
I mean, I honestly, I could go
Anthony, good.
on and on. I know we
Yeah,
agree,
I've
but like,
said my
Shane, you
justice.
good?
there's a
Perfect.
formula. Just stick to it.
All right, let's go to the match preview. Okay, so next week we have starting off on Friday with Milan versus Verona. They must rebound this
Yeah,
one here.
they
What do you guys think
must.
prediction wise?
I think Milan's going to rebound. I think they're getting humiliated by the fans. I mean, look what happened to Juventus. So there was a big thing with the ultras too. They booed us after the game, swearing at us. They were telling Dusan they were going to murder him or something like that. So there was a whole rebellion after that game too. And then they came out and they're like, "Oh, look at us now! Look what we just did. We fixed it all in one game." So I think Milan's going to have the same reaction because that's what immature people do, and they're going to go crazy for one game, and then who knows what's going to happen then one after that. But boom, I think Milan takes it 2-0.
Yeah, Rona's
Yeah,
pretty
Maybe,
rough.
no, you know what? Run has a terrible defense. I'm going 3-0. Boom.
we should have the pissed off grit that they should be carrying into every game, and I think they're gonna bring it. So
I mean, at this
Yeah,
point,
I'm gonna go
care of business.
3-1. I think it's gonna be a Milan win for sure.
yeah.
Torino
Yeah.
Bologna. I think Bologna is gonna continue their
No,
form. I think
trap
Bologna is
game.
gonna win.
Trap game.
Really?
Torino wins 1-0. Yeah.
No, Bologna is gonna win it.
I
2-0
hope,
or 2-1.
I hope you're right, but I don't think so. I don't
Hmm.
think so. I think Che Adams is going
Shane,
to get another.
do you see an upset here? Do you see an upset here, or do you think Bologna carrying their form?
Um, I don't know. I don't know.
Failed to comment on that one.
Just
Napoli, Genoa.
So Buongiorno's injured, by the way, until early February, which really means mid to late February. So we got a problem, Houston. We got a problem in Napoli. This is a major blow because Rachmani is a terrible center back when he doesn't have someone next to him to tell him where to stand all the time.
Yeah, he was really good with Kim, but
Yep.
not so good after Kim, right? Really good with Buongiorno, but so we'll see how he does alone again.
Yes.
Um,
Well, I think
Genoa's not
Conte-
very good though.
Genoa is not good.
Like they didn't really do anything against Milan. Milan just didn't do anything, So
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I don't
Napoli
know.
does have a good attack. They still have Cavara. They got
Cavara's
Politano.
out.
They've got
It's
Neres. They've
Neres.
got Lukaku. They've got enough. They've got enough pieces to make it happen.
I'm going to say 1-0 Napoli. I think Napoli are going to come out with a 3-5-2, and they're going to run that for the rest of the season. That's my instinct on there. I think they're going to run Oliveira, Rachmani, and Di Lorenzo as their center backs. I think they're going to pick up someone else in January to help them out there, and I think they're going to run a 3-5-2 with Politano and Spinazzola as the wingers, your normal midfield, and Neres and Lukaku up top. And I think that's what they
Not
should
bad.
do. No,
Not
it's not
cool.
bad. That's not bad, man. I like it.
I
they
think Napoli
should
will
stay there
also
in
win
that
it.
spot.
What do you think, Shane? You think Napoli's going to take it, or you
yeah.
think Genoa's going to
Napoli's
upset?
gonna smash. I think it's only time before they smash and get above Atalanta, and I think there's just gonna be more points for them on the boards. So
Gotcha. Next we have Lazio versus Lecce. Lazio coming off of a very crushing defeat.
Lazio 6-0.
So what do you think they're going to come back
Yeah,
and smoke them?
they're gonna make Lecce pay for the disgusting show they put on. It was kind of nice seeing the Lazio
This is
fans
actually
out
my
there.
trap game, so I'm going to go against you guys. This is
Oh.
my trap game. It's going to be a 2-2 tie.
You think
I think
so?
Lecce's coming off of a win. Yes, it's against crappy Monza. Lazio is kind of hurt. This is at Lecce. I think this is going to be a trap game.
Oof, that's
The
ugly
high,
for
they're
Lazio.
riding off the high right now.
Come on,
I
Baroni.
I I think I think
They're
Lazio.
vibing.
We'll see. This is going to tell us a lot about Lazio's character. Lecce is not a
Yeah.
very easy team to break down. Like they can be
Gotcha.
feisty. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to be a 2-2
Well,
tie. If it is, Lazio is not going to go far this season. If they win it, Lazio is going to actually have a chance to qualify for top four.
Well, Lecce's got Basquerotto, baby.
Basqueto's good. Just in general, it's a feisty team, but
Is
I'm really curious to see how Lazio responds. This is going to tell us a lot about their character.
what is the situation with Romagnoli and Gila? Are they both out? Because
I
if
have no
they
idea.
are, Lazio's screwed.
I will look it up real quick.
Yeah, because Gila's been amazing this season, and Romagnoli has been always, solid enough. Good leader
Yeah,
of
he's
the
good
back
enough.
line at least. It, they definitely felt the pain. So when Gila went out against Inter, I'll say this: if Gila didn't have an actual injury that's going to last more than that game, like you got to suck it up, dude. This is Inter, man. As soon as he went out, that game was over.
So Romagnoli
That's
had
what
a
really did
sprain
him
in
in.
his left knee.
A sprain?
Sprain in his left knee.
Come on, man. That guy's like 30 years old. Suck it up. How much longer you got left?
Let me see. I think it's
Preserve your
on
damn
transfer market be.
career for free Marias. Come on, play.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure when he's gonna be back. So
Well, that could be. You might be right, buddy.
they said he's trending in the right direction.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, we will see. So he could be back. He
Bunch
could
of
be back.
BS. All
But
right.
it is to be determined for the next game. So he's not on the list right now, but who knows? All right, next up we've
Roma,
got
Parma?
Roma Parma. I
Roma
don't know what to think
2-0.
about
Roma
Roma.
wins 2-0.
Parma's really bad, so they should win.
Well, Parma's sloppy. They're a very attack-minded team, but they'll give up some goals, and I think that Roma's going
That
to
will
win
help
2-0.
Roma. That will help Roma.
Yeah.
yeah,
Venezia, Cagliari. Who do you
What
say,
was that,
Shane?
Shane?
I'm on board with the
Roma?
Lazio's match. Lecce.
Oh, you
Or
are?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Roma.
Oh, so, all right. So Shane is with you. He thinks Lazio is gonna pull it off against Lecce. What do you think about Roma?
Roma, they should wake up. I mean, they should totally wake up after that last loss, and they should smash Parma.
I
They
think
should
Roma's
pass.
gonna win too. I think Roma will win too. I don't think it's gonna be wild. Maybe 2-0, something like that. Venezia Cagliari. I don't know. I hate to say it again, but I don't really care too much about that game.
Yeah,
So
pass.
I don't have much of an interest in that one. Atalanta, Empoli. I think Atalanta will continue their form. I don't think Empoli has enough to stop them. They're also at home,
Not
so I
enough.
think Atalanta's gonna win.
Yeah,
You guys
Atalanta
kind of
will
on
pull
board with
away.
that?
Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
board with that.
Monza Juventus, man, Juve. This is the exact type of game Juve would just kind of crap the bed in again, but I don't think they're going to lose to Monza. I think Juve wins this game.
Yeah, I think they're finally. See, I thought they were going to surge after the Man City game, but then they had to go back to playing a team with the low block. Today, we did pretty well against their B side. Monza's basically that. I think we're going to get them 2-0.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
they-
ran Yildiz as a
They're
10. That was a
waiting
big thing.
to smash, but they should pull away from Monza on this one.
Yeah, 2-0, I think.
Next, Fiorentina, Udinese. Udinese sometimes can be surprising,
Yeah.
but I think Fiorentina has still been on a good streak. Yes, Bologna kind of stopped their streak, but I do trust they're going to pull it off. It might be closer than we think. Maybe like a 2-1 is kind of what I'm thinking, but I do
Well,
think
1-0.
Fiorentina pulls it off.
1-0 Fiorentina. Fiorentina still has the best defense in the league, I believe. Let me just verify that. Fiorentina
I think
has
that's fair
the
enough.
number one defense in the league, tied with Napoli. So I think it's gonna be 1-0.
Okay. You
I
think Fiorentina is going to continue the run, Shane?
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
They
and the
should.
last game of the week is Inter versus Como.
What
you guys
a
think?
thriller!
Matcher.
Will the
A
celebs be in the stands to
course
watch
they
their
will.
beloved Como get pounded like it's
Yeah, star-studded
Brokeback
cast
Mountain?
in the stands. You had Keira
Yeah.
Knightley, you had Adrian Brody, and
Oh
Michael
wow!
Fassbender.
I care so
They
much.
spurred them on. They
Yeah.
spurred them on. That's why they
Yeah.
won.
Yeah,
Big
they
time.
were
That's
motivated.
why they won. They were but see, let's see. Como. Curious. Was Como at home
Yeah, Como was at home
when they played
Yeah.
Roma?
Yeah, and they got 2 goals. They got
There
the
you
first goal
see
in the
that skill,
93rd
but
minute.
they're not
dude.
at home though, so the celebs will not be there.
No, they
because
won't.
They're not going to travel
No.
to Milan. Although
No.
yeah, Milan's
No,
fast
not.
city,
Inter's
but
gonna,
no, they got to be at home for the
Ah.
celebs to have their power.
no, Inter's gonna win 20-1, and they're gonna sign that little Argentinian kid in the summer. Inter will.
Who?
That Paz guy. He's awesome.
Paz?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's an awesome
He's
player.
Argentinian?
Yep, awesome player.
Nico Paz? Is that who you're
Yep,
talking about?
yep. Very creative, good, super technical.
Youngster, right? What is
Yep.
he?
Well, I think
Yeah,
he's like
he's
20.
20 years old.
Yeah,
He was
he's
born in Spain. I was gonna say it sounds like a
yeah,
Spanish name to me, but yes, but I guess he plays for Argentina.
really good
Gotcha.
player. Yeah. So that's something Inter needs to. They need to get a little younger overall. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's just bring in like a piece or two a season, and
yeah.
that's what they'll do. Like Beppe is not gonna bring in 8 pieces. He's gonna bring in a couple and keep slowly churning the machine. That's what I think
Beppe
they'll
knows
do.
what he's doing. He's not going to blow everything up by making some dumbass signing, and that's the reason why he left Juventus. Is his right hand man betrayed him and brought in
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo, who eventually blew the team up. So yeah, it's he knows what he's doing. He's going to keep it close to the vest.
There is no Champions League action till mid-January.
No,
So after this week, I think it's just Serie A and
it's not till
no
mid-January.
Copa.
I thought it was
It's not till
mid-February.
January 21st is when it
Ooh,
comes back. Champions League comes back on January
yeah,
21st with Atalanta versus Sturm
that's all
Graz.
right. I want to see these teams dig in, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just
You
curious
got
to
about a
see.
month before Champions League. What about Copa? When's the next Copa? I can think Copa's a couple of different games this week, but when's the next round of Copa
There's
games?
there's
I
the
don't really care
Super
until the
Copa
finals and
coming
stuff,
up.
but I don't really care about that. I know some people do. That's
I
not for
don't
me.
I don't know why
Copa's not till February,
anybody
so
would
there's a
start
big gap on
serious
that.
players for that. I was really disappointed that Juventus started their starters today. It's like, man, just bring the next gen kids on. I mean, if you get an injury right now, I mean, haven't you had enough?
Guys, there's
Haven't
no
you?
break for Serie A. Like
Right?
I'm looking up right now,
No.
that's actually what's continuing. Is you got,
Yeah.
this next match day this next weekend, then it's December 28th, January 4th and 5th,
It's crazy,
January
dude.
10th, 11th. They don't even take a Christmas break.
No, it's wild.
This is kind of weird. Like
No.
you're just gonna get these players injured nonstop. Like I get it. Like this you should play like good amount of games. Just they're getting paid lots to entertain, but it's like it's a little too much.
And they're not putting their teams in a great position for Champions League because
No man, it's kind of bad.
yeah, it's
I don't like that at all.
no,
Give them like 2 weeks at least. What the hell? It's weird.
oh, don't even get me started on another rant.
All right, let's wrap it up. It's been a long one, anyways.
Yeah, that's
I
what
got
she
nothing
said.
else to say. You guys got anything else pressing or no?
No,
No,
nothing to press.
we're good.
And she did not say
No,
wrap it up.
she did
All
not
right,
know.
boys. Take care, all. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been another episode of Primo Calcio.
Boom.
Thank you, and Forza Calcio. Ciao.
Ciao.
What's it called?